Hey everybody, what is up? Welcome back to Final Trade. Today we are going to take our last look at Unfinity. I know you are all sad to see it go. So in its entire lifetime on TCG Player, from the beginning of pre-release out through 150 days post-release, which is where I stopped paying attention, it sold 3,566 boxes at a total of $351,000, which comes to an average of $98.43 each. You know, I was pretty surprised by this number. It seemed really high for a draft box, but then I remembered, well, there are no set boxes in this expansion, and so anybody who wanted any of the product had to pick between the collector boxes and the draft boxes. And so now I will compare it against a couple of set boxes of other sets. First, Dominaria United. And the reason that I mostly collect set box data is WotC wants you to buy the set boxes. They keep making them a better and better value. And to the greatest degree, you should only be buying draft boxes when you are drafting. Set boxes are just a better value otherwise, and the market reinforces that. That's what sells better on TCG Player, and it's what commands a higher price, sometimes even above the extra value that they offer. When we put Dominaria United on here and look at its total spend 150 days after its release, we see that Unfinity performed about 30% lower, and so worse than a standard set. And of course, maybe we can find a good comparison here with Streets of New Capenna. Yes. So Unfinity performs as bad as a bad standard set. If I was WotC, I wouldn't do things like this. I wouldn't release unsets. Maybe unsets would become once per decade. That's probably about the right frequency. But you can't tell me that when it performs as badly as a bad standard set, that it was really worthwhile in terms of development cost, extra setup costs with the printing companies, the additional logistical costs of moving these extra SKUs through the distribution system, that all of those upfront costs of this one more expansion were worthwhile to what it returned. I just can't believe that's the case. If they had never made this expansion, never developed it, never spent all the money in R&D and testing and everything else, would they have made any less revenue last year and into this year? I don't think so. I think that buyers would have just bought more of the other existing products. And, you know, this potentially even holds true for, say, the fourth standard set every year, whichever the most unpopular of the four standard sets released every year is. Probably WotC could go to 3 standard sets a year. And if they actually improved standard into a format that people really wanted to play again, I think it would be fine. I don't think WotC would make any less top line revenue. Their margins would actually improve and their profit would go up. But, you know, I'm just some guy with a YouTube channel. So this will be the last look we take at Unfinity. I don't track data past 150 days post-release because, as you can see by the leveling off of these lines of box sales and cumulative spend, the big action is over. And with Unfinity specifically, there have been 4 more sets released since this came out, plus Magic 30 if you count that. So 5 additional major expansions since this came out. People aren't paying attention to this anymore. So let me know what you think, guys. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Join me on Final Trade.